Now, whether you are into investing or not, it is highly unlikely that you have not heard the name of legendary investor Warren Buffett. For the young and the new investors, Warren Buffett is considered as a virtual university when it comes to investing wisdom and learning investment strategy. And his company Berkshire Hathaway's annual general meeting is also much sought after, as both the new age and veteran investors look forward to Buffett's and Munger's views on stock markets and their views on investing going forward. Now, this year's annual general meeting was held on 6th of May, and that was a packed house with Chairman Warren Buffett and Vice Chairman Charlie Munger answering questions from shareholders for over 5 hours. And here are 5 key takeaways from those 5 hours that I have put for you so that all of you investors can actually take note of it. The first key takeaway is that Buffett is an Apple fan. Apple accounts for nearly 40% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio as of 31st of December 2022. He said that it just happens to be a better business than any of the other businesses that they own. The next key takeaway is that Warren Buffett is also a fan of oil. Berkshire Hathaway holds approximately 210 million Occidental Petroleum shares worth about 12.8 billion US dollars. And that's almost a quarter of the outstanding Occidental stock, or 3.8% of Berkshire's entire portfolio, and is their 7th largest holding. The third key takeaway from the meeting was on the banking crisis. Now, Warren Buffett here said the situation in banking is very similar to what it's always been in banking. The fear is contagious always. He also said that in recent months, 4 regional banks in the US have faced a crisis, with 3 of them being taken over by other institutions with the help of authorities. Now, Buffett called out regulation overseeing the banking sector as riddled with skewed incentives as well as poor messaging by regulators and politicians. The next key takeaway from this year's annual general meeting of Berkshire Hathaway was on the use of the US dollar. Remember that Warren Buffett here said that cash is king. And also a few miscellaneous comments that I did find interesting this time around was that Buffett believes that even in today's day and age, cash continues to be king. He also said that anyone who thinks that cash is trash ought to look at the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. He says, and I quote, "Believe me, cash is not trash," unquote. Now, on the US dollar also he said, and I quote, "We are the reserve currency. I see no other option for any other currency to be the reserve currency," unquote. And lastly, the key takeaway from this year's annual general meeting was also about how investors should now get used to of making less. Now, Warren Buffett and Munger both believe that the majority of their businesses will report lower earnings this year than last year. Also, noting that the incredible period for the US economy is also coming to an end. Now, Charlie Munger was a lot more pessimistic here. He said, and I quote, "I think value investors are going to have a harder time now that there are so many of them competing for a diminished set of opportunities. So my advice to value investors is to get used to making less," unquote. And with that, these are the 5 key takeaways that you should note if you're an investor and keen to follow legendary investor Warren Buffett and everything that he says year on year to talk about the investing future.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.